We begin tonight with in-depth coverage of the House Speaker's shakeup we've been all over since Friday. Democratic lawmakers met again today to discuss who should take over the powerful office in the wake of the stunning investigation into outgoing Speaker Gordon Fox. The shakeup began Friday when federal and state law enforcement executed search warrants at Fox's home and State House office. At this point, there's still no specific word on what they were searching for or why. Then came yesterday's announcement from Speaker Fox saying he will step down as Speaker but finish out his term in the House of Representatives. Now, two lawmakers are publicly vying to become the next House Speaker, Majority Leader Nicholas Mattiello and Representative Michael Marcello. And following yet another Democratic caucus today, Mattiello insists he has the support he needs to win the job. Eyewitness News reporter Jared Pliner joins us now with the latest developments from the Providence Mobile Newsroom.
Yeah, Kelly, good evening. The drama continued to unfold Sunday with votes and pledges of support flying this way and that as two competing groups try to fill a power vacuum in the wake of Gordon Fox's announcement that he is stepping aside. The reportedly final caucus before the House of Representatives convenes to elect its next speaker has come and gone. Democrat and Republican members converging on the Marriott Sunday night, a stone's throw from the State House. Inside, a test vote, taking the temperature of support for Majority Leader Nicholas Mattiello over opponent Michael Marcello. 90 minutes later, a tally from Mattiello himself, Fox's second in command, telling reporters 41 total votes, 39 Democrats, 2 Republicans, 38 votes needed for the Speaker's chair. But since that 6:30 briefing, the leader tells Eyewitness News his base has grown to 46, with 5 of 6 House Republicans on board.
I expect to be elected Speaker of the House of Representatives next Tuesday, and I expect that the number of Democrats and Republicans will both increase and that I will be elected with significant support.
The second caucus in as many days, over 48 hours since the stunning Friday raids.
It is very fast. Those that don't have the support of the room are going to say it's going too fast. I'm going to say it's going just fast enough. My responsibility as the House Majority Leader is to lead, and I try to lead in every situation that is presented to me. We're going to have a session Tuesday. This state needs leadership. This House needs leadership, and I intend to bring that leadership to the House of Representatives.
Doreen Costa was one of the 3 Republicans in attendance. She ended up supporting Mattiello along with Representative Joseph Trillo of Warwick. She told WPRI.com why, referring to Marcello's camp. She says, quote, "I could not support the progressive movement on the other side, and that is solely how I made my decision. It had nothing to do with the unions. I cannot support the progressive agenda." And on Mattiello's ideology, quote, "He's not progressive. He's not one of the progressive Democrats." And as for Democratic support, Representative Peter Martin of Newport tells us he's backing Nick Mattiello because he believes it will create the smoothest leadership transition. But you have to keep in mind that the Speaker is going to finish out the rest of the calendar year, the next Speaker. And then as for if that person stays, that is up to the House to decide in January. But as for the most immediate decision, who will serve as the next leader of the Rhode Island House of Representatives, that remains on track for Tuesday. Outside the State House tonight with the Providence Mobile Newsroom, I'm Jared Platter, Eyewitness News.
Joining us in studio now for an insider perspective of these historic happenings is former Rhode Island State Representative John Laughlin. And John, kind of set the scene for us. What's been going on this weekend?
Well, during this weekend, and weekends typically are a time, period where people take time off, it's been chaotic. It's been meeting after meeting, caucuses, cell phones ringing, text messages. It's been incredibly chaotic for the Democrats. For the Republicans, yard work.
There needs to be a majority vote, which is 38 votes, and there's only a small group of Republicans, 6 of them. What role could they play in all this?
I mean, it could be significant because I'm told that the Majority Leader, Representative DeSimone, came into the party with 8 votes. And he became a Majority Leader. So 6 votes can make an absolutely critical difference, a huge difference as it goes forward.
Lastly, too, you're talking about, it's 38 for the majority, but when you're talking budget time, you'll need more votes.
That's a very, very key point, Kelly, because you need 50 votes by the Constitution to pass the budget. Now, if you assume that you have this group of dissonant or dissatisfied representatives that didn't vote for the speaker, he's got to somehow win over at least 20 or at least 10 of those votes to be able to get to 50 votes to be able to pass a budget. And that can be extremely difficult, especially in tight financial times when there are a lot of competing priorities.
And also to Mattiello and Marcello, I mean, we're kind of seeing two different sides of Democrats here.
You are. I think you're seeing a more progressive, more reform-minded candidate in Mike Marcello from Scituate-Cranston, and then you're seeing more of the traditional labor-backed, basically the old guard in Nick Mattiello. And we've seen kind of where the old guard's gotten us over the past few years.
All right, well, will be interesting come Tuesday once the vote comes, and we'll see how this all shakes out. Thanks so much for joining us.